everyone, so obviously I look a little bit scary now without any makeup on, but I thought today I would do a Valentine's Day kind of daytime appropriate date look, just because Valentine's Day is on a weekend this year, so some of you might be kind of like going out for the day or something like that, and we all know kind of how, you know, the evening sexy smoky eye type of look thing goes, and I will be doing that when I'm going out in the evening as well, but we're also kind of going out during the day, and I thought it would be nice to do something kind of really pretty and natural and just kind of keeping in tie with the pink tones and that kind of thing. So I'm going to start with foundation. Move my hair off my face first. I'm going to start with primer, and I'm going to use the Body Shop Instant Blur primer first. Just on my problematic areas, which tend to be the centre of my face, which tend to be most people's problem areas, if we're being honest. And just a small amount of this. It is kind of a thick silicone type of product, so it's not necessarily something that you want to kind of use all the time. I do find it can be quite pore clogging if I use it all the time, but if I just use it every now and then, just in the centre of my face and under my eyes, it works really nicely. Apologies if I'm looking in the viewfinder and that kind of thing, but obviously I'm putting makeup on my face, so I kind of need to use it as a mirror. Then for foundation, I wanted to go for something that's kind of really pretty and luminous and natural. I am going to mention in this video kind of things that I think that tend to be makeup looks that men notice and that kind of thing, just because I think it's nice sometimes to make an effort for your other half, and it's got nothing to do with, like, you know, not being feminist or anything like that, but sometimes I just think it's nice. And I just asked kind of a couple of my guy friends, my boyfriend and stuff, questions about what makeup looks they like. They unanimously all said a smoky eye, which I thought was quite interesting, and nobody likes red lipstick either apparently, so that's just kind of something to note. But I'm going to use the Clarins True Radiance foundation. This is one that I like to use when I want my skin to just look really natural and pretty. It's not kind of the most long lasting, not the most full coverage, and I've got it in the shade Honey, which is a really good kind of winter shade for me. I'm putting it on like this, and I'm going to buff it in with a Real Techniques buffing brush. Now, I know people always ask and get really confused as to why I don't put foundation on my face. It drives some people insane. I actually get hate emails over the topic, but the reason that I don't is because it breaks me out, and I just think, like, you know, you don't need to put it on everywhere of your face. I don't really have any breakouts or anything on my forehead, and the foundation I'm wearing kind of matches my skin tone, so it's not like my face is kind of two-toned, which I can see how, you know, if you're using a foundation that's a little bit darker, maybe that would be a problem. That was one pump. I'm going to go in with like another half a pump, I think. And you can see with this foundation, it is really kind of flawless and luminous, but it's not, it's a foundation that looks like skin, basically, which I really like, and I think it's really important as well to take time to blend your foundation in. Probably foundation's the thing I take the most time doing, because I really like it to be blended. I kind of don't want it to look like a layer on top of my skin. I want it to look like it's at one with my skin, and I've got like major lighting going on here, so ring light, spotlight, that kind of thing, and usually that makes you look like you're about 100. But with this foundation, it's just so luminous and pretty that it actually looks really good in the light, which is surprising, because like I said, usually you look like you're about 107. Make sure you get it kind of in the problem areas, which for me tend to be here. Keep going too close to the light, don't I? I need to back it up. Okay, so foundation done. Then for concealer, I'm going to just use the Maybelline Age Eraser. I have had problems with this creasing on me, if I'm being honest, but if I set it with something, which I'm going to show you in a minute, it's not too much of a problem for me. So then I just do it with my Real Techniques sponge. Got a little hair was on that sponge, and I kind of use it just to conceal and brighten the whole area, really, just because it's such a kind of lightweight texture. It almost blends itself, if we're being kind of honest. Then I'm just going to set it with the kind of highlighty shade from the Barry M contour kit, just a small amount. You don't want to kind of go overboard with this, because because it kind of look a little bit scary. But it's not that I need the brightness under there, I don't think. I just need it to set, otherwise it creases on me. But it is a product that I do really, really like. And that didn't crease on me when I first started using it. I don't know, maybe kind of my skin's been drier because of the cold. Those of you who are wondering right now when my ring is in shot, no, I'm not engaged. It's just kind of a pretty ring. Let's set that one too. I kind of just tap it under my eyes. Then for concealing my pigmentation, which I'm sure you noticed, at the moment I'm using the NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer in the shade Beige. And I use it just on a little kind of, what's this, the Zoeva Concealer Buffer Brush. I really like this, but sometimes I feel like it kind of can separate on my skin a little bit, which is a bit annoying. But I kind of just dot it on the area, and then I'll go in with my finger and kind of let the warmth of my finger tap it in. Add a little more. It's always this part here that's a problem. But yeah, that's okay. That'll do. And on the other side it's not too bad at all. On the other side I kind of could almost skip it, but on that side it is a little bit horrible. So yeah, that's that. I'm just going to do a little bit of kind of highlighty-esque stuff using the Clarins Instant Light Brush On Perfector. So I always do under my brows. My kind of brow and eye area in general I think is kind of darker than the rest of my face, which sometimes can kind of make me look tired. I've noticed it's kind of a bit of a thing with people that have got kind of like an olivey skin tone, tend to have that. Fair skins don't tend to really have that, which is great, but I have it and it is annoying because it makes it not look very bright. I'm going to put my eye primer on just because I always do it at this stage, and I'm using MAC Paint in Bare Canvas. And this, always the packaging of this, I get that it's cute and it's a tube, but really is it necessary for it to always kind of come out so much? You always end up squeezing out more than you actually wanted. I'm not in love with this as a kind of eyeshadow base, to be honest. I had used it years ago and I loved it, but for some reason I remembered it being a lot more dry than it actually is. Powder, I have left my powder brush upstairs because I am incapable of ever bringing down everything that I need, and I actually looked at it and said I need to bring it down, but I'm going to just use something else for now. This is the Essence All About Matte Fixing Powder, which is what I'm using at the moment. I do really like it with a duo fibre brush, but I'm not going to go upstairs to go and get it, so I'm just going to be very light-handed with my bronzer brush and kind of hope for the best. But mostly it's only in the centre and kind of above concealer. Anyway, I don't like loads of powder. I wish I didn't have to powder, if I'm being honest. Then I'm going to go in with bronzer. I'm going to use the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzer in Sunny, which is my go-to bronzer during the winter time because it's a little bit lighter and it just gives a really pretty look. And like I said a minute ago, bronzer brush. This is the Wilko Big Powder Brush. This is a great, great brush. £4, well spent. And I'm just going to kind of do it in a 3 motion. Just kind of on the areas where you would naturally get sun if there was any sun to be had. And I've started noticing that I like to take my bronzer kind of a little bit lower down, so not from here, because I just find like that looks too much like bronzer, and then kind of the harsh winter light is just really obvious that that's what it is, if that makes sense. And you know, you have to pull the ridiculous faces, and then I always like to do it under my chin to disguise my horrible double chin, and a little bit on my neck just to kind of connect the colour. I think it looks pretty. So that's that for bronzer. Then for contour, I'm using the Maybelline Master Sculpt in a light shade at the moment, which again, nice for my winter complexion, which In the summer I can kind of do a darker contour, but in the winter I don't like to kind of do too much. So I'm using it on an angled brush and then just sucking in my cheekbones. And I like to kind of take it a little bit higher up than where my cheekbone actually is, because I feel like it just flatters my face more, I don't know why. So there we have the contour on. I feel like, you know, contour's just, it's something that I've always done just because I feel like my face has always really needed it. And I sometimes do there as well. A little bit on my nose, but not much. Then for brows, I am going to use pencil and a little bit of brow gel. So I'm going to do this brow first. And I just brush them upwards and outwards. I'm really trying to grow them into the same shape at the moment because it's driving me crazy that they're not. And then I'm using the Soap and Glory, the Archery, just a pencil. Not the one with the kind of felt tip type of thing. Although I like that one, but I just don't know. I use this one and I use it in a lighter shade just because my brows are so dark anyway. I don't like anything too much. I just want a little bit of kind of subtle definition. And I love the fact that this has this little spoolie on the end. I just think it's amazing. And I keep thinking that I wish a brand would come out with something that's like a brow gel, but that like it's inside and then you deposit it with a spoolie, because I know like brow mascaras are, but they're not shaped like a spoolie, it's a different shape. And I feel like I always get the best shape when I'm using a brow spoolie, but then I kind of ruin it by going in with a different type of brow mascara, which this one is the Clinique one, by the way. It's not my particular favourite, it's just the one that I'm using at the moment. Let's go and do the other one. This is my not as great brow. Everyone has that, don't they? Like you have your good and bad side on your face. Everyone has a not so great brow. So just feathery strokes, and then I kind of look at them and try and even them out a little, but they're not the same brow. It's quite annoying really. Doesn't help my kind of OCD-ness about the matter, but I live with it. So yeah, that's it. Those are my brows done. Then for eyes, I thought I would use this eyeshadow palette that I haven't used for ages, but I used it loads last year and I really liked it, and I thought the colours were very kind of in keeping with Valentine's Day. And it's a W7 in the Nude palette, which is basically their offering for the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. So I'm going to start, I haven't decided what shades I'm going to use, I'm just going to kind of wing it I think, but all over the lid I'm going to do a mixture of these two shades. So one's a little bit shimmery, one's a little bit matte. I'm going to do the matte one, no, I'm going to do the shimmery one first. And you can see, you know, not the most wanted thing, but just adding a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to do a little bit of the matte one kind of on the centre of the lid and the outer corner as well. And then I'm also going to go in with that more shimmery shade that's right next to them to add a little bit of something. And I think the shades in this palette actually are really flattering pink shades. And I know that a lot of people really like using pink eyeshadow, but I just think it is one of the most unflattering things, like proper pink eyeshadow. I see people wearing it sometimes and I know this is really not very nice, but I just feel like saying like, are you deliberately trying to make yourself look like you have a sty? Because that's what it looks like. It's not flattering. These kind of mauvey browny kind of purpley pink shades are so much more flattering, I think, than kind of just full on pink. Full on pink just isn't good. Then for the crease colour I'm going to use a combo of these two right here. I'm going to use the on a fluffy brush. I'm going to use the lighter one first, just to kind of get a crease shape. And I always go above kind of my crease just because my eyes are a little bit hooded and I think it's more flattering. And I like to kind of build it into a slight triangle shape at the corners. Just brushing off my excess there. And then I'm going to go in with a slightly darker shade as well. Like that. That's such a pretty colour, isn't it? Then I'm going to blend. And I don't want to blend too much, I'm just going to blend the edges. Oh, I think maybe this brush had dark eyeshadow on it. Didn't you hate that when that happens? Oh my god, it did. Well, that's an epic fail. I'll try and get some of it off. Whoopsie. No, I haven't got anything else to come in. Yeah, this had a darker shadow on it, but that's not good, is it? That's not what I wanted to happen. Alright, I'm going to take the shade that I used, the brush that I used even, to get the, what do you call it, the powder under my eyes. I'm just going to use that kind of matte cream shade in there, just above where I've taken the darker shade, just to kind of make it look a bit more human. But yeah, it's not too bad, but that's very, very annoying. Let's do the other eye. I'm such an idiot. Why don't I get a clean one? I don't use that one normally either. I like the white ones. I've got one that's like the Max 017, and then there's the Ereaser equivalent, and there's something else equivalent, which are the ones that I use normally. But I grabbed that one. I thought, oh, I haven't used that one in a while. Probably why. So I'm feeling a little bit stupid right now. Let's just try and kind of do my crease colour while it's blending, and then I won't need to. Oh, but then it'll look funny on the other side. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's just get the colour on and then we'll see. I also find that this eye's a different shape than the other eye, so kind of how I put my eyeshadow on can be a little bit weird. I'm gutted about that because that was a really, really nice colour. Actually, maybe I'll have an idea of what to do. I'm going to close that for a minute, and I'm just going to try and blend out those harsh edges with my finger. Yeah, that's fine. It's perfectly fine. And then I'm going to go in on the other eye with the Clarins thingy and just conceal over it. It'll work. Although that's actually created a really sharp crease. So I'll just add a little bit more of the purpley shadow on there. Need a little bit more on that side, don't I, just to intensify it. I'm filming and there's like a window right next to me, and whenever people walk past, like my neighbours and stuff, you can see into the window kind of, and I always wonder, like when they see the lights and everything, like I know I'm just sat here talking or whatever, but if they wonder if like I'm filming porn or something. Okay, so let's just get on with this because that was very long and probably like the most boring thing ever, watching me mess up my eyeshadow. I'm going to go in with some liquid liner now, and I'm using my favourite ever, which is the Revlon Skinny Liner. I actually used one all up, can you believe that? And I went out and repurchased. But me doing eyeliner without Q-tips at hand is probably a very risky idea, so bear with me. I like to kind of use my own eyelashes as a guide as to where kind of the wing's going to be. I just feel like it's the most flattering for my eye shape. So, just neatening up the line, and there we go. That's kind of how I do it. But it's a little bit harder on the other eye because my lashes kind of go in a different direction on the other eye, but you need your wings to be the same. So let's try and do this. It's always much easier for me to do the other eye for some reason. I think it's also because I've got more eyelashes on that eye, so they kind of get in the way a little bit. Okay, so I kind of like to just look straight on and try and just get the wing looking the same. Okay, let's try and not have any more awkward moments of silence like that because that was a little bit weird. But try and talk while you're doing eyeliner. I can multitask, but not that much. But yeah, that one is okay. Then I'm going to do some nude liner in my waterline because I do that every day and it just works really, really well at kind of brightening up the area and making you look less tired. I try to go to bed every night. I tell myself I'm going to go to bed before midnight. I rarely succeed, and then last night I did. I went to bed at 11 and that didn't work either because I just woke up at like 2. Then mascara. I've been trying out loads of different mascaras recently. I've been trying out all the Revlon, the new line that Revlon are doing, but I've really missed this, and it's the Bourjois Push Up Volume Glamour Mascara. This gives you proper sexy lashes, and it's not the type of brush that I would normally like, just traditional bristled brush. I'm going to use the small mirror to do this because I just find it a lot easier. But it's just such a nice kind of mascara because it's got presence, you know, like so many mascaras that I try. First of all, the brushes don't work for me, and I didn't think that this brush was going to work for me either. But it layers nicely and it just gives you really, really thick lashes, which if you've got lashes like me and mine are just so crap, it really, really helps to kind of make them noticeable. So I like to kind of do a good few coats of that. I'm not sure how well camera's picking up on it because of the light, but it's just definitely one of those mascaras that's kind of, you know, mascara with presence. Okay, I'm happy with that eye. I always get kind of mascara on my lids. I think it's just the shape of my lids, so I will go in and clean that up afterwards. This eye is always easier because it has more eyelashes on it. And I'm putting like the sexiest faces while I'm doing this, I'm sure. But I don't know, some people like, my sister puts their mascara on like with a completely normal face. I can't, I always have to pull the like lemon face when I'm doing it. It's really horrible. Okay. That's enough mascara for daytime. Then lower lashes I'm doing with a Clarins Intense Black. I think this is like called Extra Long because it's got one of those little tiny brushes which work better for my lower lashes. That Bourjois one I can do my lower lashes with, but okay, eyes are done. Then I'm going to do lips first. I know some people do blush first, but I like to do lips first. And I'm using a kind of really pretty neutral, natural shade. I'm going to line them first with my number 7 nude lip liner because I just have to. a few people kind of said that they think that I really overdraw them. I don't ever really overdraw them. I kind of just do the edges, and it's more on me just because the edges of my lips are kind of faded in terms of colour rather than the shape. Then for lipstick, I'm using this beautiful, really natural shade from Clarins called Woodrose. I know it doesn't look like the most exciting shade, but it's just so pretty and natural, and just makes everything kind of really brighten up and just really pretty. I love it. Wear it all the time. Then for blush, I'm just going to do a little bit of the Avon blush in Soft Plum. Just a small amount, nothing crazy. And I take my blusher higher up just because I've got such a round face. I feel like it's more flattering. Like that. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit of highlighter, and half an hour later we're done. But I wanted it to be kind of a chatty, sit down with you type of one because I just felt like it. So highlighter, I used the Makeup Revolution palette. But that's it. That is my finished look. And I think kind of most men prefer a look that's kind of more emphasis on the eyes, really kind of fluttery, pretty lashes, rather than a strong lip. It just seems to be something that kind of men don't really get. But I think this is the type of makeup that's just really pretty, would suit anyone. Most guys would find it really pretty, so if you are trying to do something like that for Valentine's Day, I think it would be really nice. And also if you're going on a first date and you kind of don't know what to wear, this is a really kind of fail-safe makeup. I think it's just something that flatters your face and just makes you look kind of prettier and not masking your look, if that makes sense, rather than kind of going full out. But something that would look really pretty with this look, I think, would be like a really bright hot pink lip. If you kind of, you know, don't care what your other half thinks and are not intending on kissing too much, that would look really pretty. Something like not Mac Impassioned, that might be a bit warm. Maybe something like Revlon Cherries in the Snow would look pretty, I think. But yeah, that is everything I think that I wanted to talk to you in this video, even though this video is like 3 years long. But I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless, and I hope you'll have a great Valentine's Day. This week will be all Valentine's Day related videos, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you next time. Bye!